let's get to the No Kings protest once again. First and foremost, Donald Trump, as we covered when he first posted this, Donald Trump is a child. He has a child's brain. Many Americans have children's mindsets. We already know this, but there's perhaps no better evidence of this reality than Donald Trump's AI shenanigans. Donald Trump, this past weekend during the No Kings protest, posted this AI video where he is flying a fighter jet. I'm just going to show you the video itself, okay? That's right. That's Donald Trump dumping fecal matter from a fighter jet while wearing a crown on top of a bunch of protesters in New York led by friend of the show, Harry Sisson. This, of course, made me feel some type of way because Harry Sisson, in spite my best attempts, has gotten the Trump notice before me. Very fucked up. It led me to spiral. It caused me to think, am I washed? How is this possible? How is it that Harry Sisson would get the Trump notice before me? But anyway, Harry Sisson then posted, can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me from a fighter jet? That would be great. Thanks. To which J.D. Vance replied to Harry saying, I'll ask him for you, Harry. Because this fucking administration is run by morons. Childish morons. Okay? What are we doing? What are we fucking How is this? Like, this is the most powerful country on the planet still. Okay? Think about that. I'm not like Mr. Institutionalist, okay? I am not. Why are you mad Trump ain't shit on you? I'm just a little mad because Harry Sisson got the notice before me, but that's like me just memeing. I'm more so mad about the fact that this is what the administration is doing, and I'm doubly mad that while this is what the administration is doing, the reception on actions like this, no matter how fucking childish it is, no matter how stupid it is, no matter how silly it is, no matter how much this is supposed to highlight how little they are doing, how little the Republicans are doing to solve any of the financial crises that average Americans are experiencing, the base seems to love it. Do you understand? The base for Donald Trump loves this shit. I look at this and I think, oh my God, how can the Democrats be losing to this? This should be a moment of self-reflection, self-criticism, and to instantly change everything that the Democrats have done so far. You should be looking at this and going, how the fuck did we get here? Okay? How is it possible to lose to this? We have a million different severe crises in this country, and one of them, I think, is the anti-intellectualism that has run amok. Like, Donald Trump is gutting SNAP benefits and subsidies for Medicaid. His administration, at a time when people are like really suffering from the cost of living crisis, is making things more costly for the average American. And all they need to do is just like meme like this, and the base goes, hell yeah, brother. Yeah, as long as you're locking up Mexicans, as long as you're locking up Mexicans and doing this kind of funny, haha, Hakeem Jeffries is a Mexican AI videos, I'm with you, brother, all the way. This should be an opportunity to highlight the lack of interest in the administration in solving any of these like material problems for the Democrats. The Democrats should be using this as a opportunity to radicalize the base further, to actually pull some of these Republicans away from the Trump administration, away from the MAGA movement, to be like, dude, these guys are deeply unserious. They don't give a shit about you. Oh God, I love me some fucking hogs, baby. When are you going to thank Trump for freeing Palestine? Oh God, beautiful, beautiful oinking piggies in my chat. I get so excited at this. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. When he actually liberates Palestine, I will thank him. In any case, they take more to give their kids more. Can Americans just be adults and not rely on politicians on what to think? That's just not how it works. People need leadership, okay? And it's very obvious that there's a severe gap, or there's a severe leadership crisis on the left flank in our current existing duopoly between the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans are just like memeing and shifting people's priorities away from the things that actually matter while worsening their living standards and living conditions. And the Democrats are seemingly incapable of addressing that. That's a major problem. People need to be directed. People need to be led, because if you don't do that, then there's just a lot of anger and a lot of animosity and a lot of resentment that's just out there with no productive output. That is my anger and my resentment on this story. But that was not the only thing that happened with the No Kings rallies. Obviously, the No Kings protest took place, the largest single-day protest in American history, which is pretty crazy, all around the country. A total of, I believe, 7 million people, many of which were actually boomers, as a matter of fact, took to the streets to express their discontent for as long as they can.
Americans came together across the country on Saturday to protest against the Trump administration. The No Kings movement, as they call themselves, claims our country is in danger of sliding into dictatorship. Torian Small reports now from Washington, where hundreds of thousands gathered.
From Times Square to L.A., millions turned out for the No Kings Day of protests, pushing back against what they call abuse of power by President Trump.
This is what democracy looks like. We don't like what's happening under the current government.
Demonstrators called out Trump's policies, including his crackdown on immigration, domestic use of the military, and environmental rollbacks. In D.C., 22-year-old Eva Menaggio said she felt the day was about unity, not hate.
Everything here is so beyond positive. Like right over there's a dance party going on. I don't know how anyone could say this is a hate America rally.
I know exactly what this guy is talking about. There was a lie that was circulating on Twitter about how like MSNBC actually showed a previous protest from 2017 with the aerial footage, and it actually wasn't the current protest in Boston. I don't know why they chose to lie like that. I don't know why they chose that particular Boston protest to claim it was actually false. I mean, I get the energy behind it. Like it was clear that like someone felt insecure, you know, some Republican felt insecure. I don't know where the lie was conceived initially, but Grok has once again misled ex-users by falsely claiming that this viral video of crowds yesterday at No Kings protest in Boston, which ran on Ali Velsh's program on MSNBC, is from 2017. This has led some users genuinely believing that the video is old, but Grok's assertion is incorrect. The video was filmed during yesterday's protest in Boston. The exact same aerial view of the crowd can be seen in multiple other videos of the protest in Boston posted by local news outlets yesterday. Reverse searching multiple frames from the clip brings no results earlier than yesterday, which means that the clip isn't old and first appeared online yesterday. Breaking. Analysts are calling this the biggest protest in American history. It's far bigger than any rally Donald Trump has ever had. This is Boston. Rallies like this are just happening in cities big and small all around the country. Let's go. It was huge. And I guess like people felt some type of way. They felt like kind of insecure about how big the protests were, even though like the New York protests were also massive as well. Bro fell for the rage bait. Wait, what? What do you mean? No, you fell for the rage bait, I think. Are you now just saying you were pretending? Is that what it is? Really? That's what we're doing? We're backpedaling? That's funny. Oh, I was just pretending to be fucking, I was just pretending to be stupid, dude. I fucking got you. Anyway, I think this story is actually more consequential because of the misinformation. And the reason why I say that is because like, while this guy is obviously feeling a little embarrassed by it, and that's the reason why he's like, I was only pretending, dude. While his opinion is obviously irrelevant, there are a lot of people who thought that this was fake. There were a lot of people who fucking thought that this was fake. It is really wild to me that you can have journalists directly broadcasting from a massive protest, and you can have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people arrive at an area, and then people online could just say it's fake, and then that's all it takes. Like there are I don't know how many people actually went there, okay? I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but it seems like, you know, tens of thousands, if not 100,000 people are in this like massive area, which means that they were there. They can like confirm it. And yet on the internet, you can just say, nah, this shit is fake actually, because you're biased and you personally believe that it's impossible to get this many fucking liberals to be offended enough by the administration that they're actually going to go and participate in a mass mobilization initiative such as this one. And that's all it takes for people. They go, nah, it's fake. And I think we're in a dangerous we're in a very dangerous place right now. We're in a very dangerous place because people refuse to think critically about this stuff. Like, your own personal biases online are way more important than than reputable outlets giving you real-time coverage of events that are taking place. If we don't have like a reality that everyone is on board with, we're fucked. There is no consensus truth. There is no consensus reality. We're fucked. People can just literally say, nope, I don't believe it. And if enough people, given their political biases, can decide what you can see with your own two fucking eyes is actually fake, we are extra fucked. I don't know how we move on from this. I don't know how we redesign a functional society if a decent chunk of the population decides, like, what I can see with my own two eyes must be fake because it makes me feel bad to think that it's real. Add to that how easily artificial intelligence chatbots can also continue this malicious framing, like Grok, right? And you're cooked, because people would rather trust Grok than they would trust their own two fucking eyes and their own brain to think critically. Let's get to Trump and specifically the Gaza ceasefire that is falling apart due to Israel's bombing campaigns.
There were serious threats to the fragile ceasefire in Gaza over the weekend. Israel struck multiple targets inside Gaza after a deadly attack on Israeli soldiers, which Hamas claims it was not involved in. We're also learning more about the ceasefire deal from an exclusive 60 Minutes interview that aired last night. We'll have more on that conversation.
Yeah, we're going to be watching that 60 Minutes interview. Shouts out to Barry Weiss once again, doing fucking propaganda for the admin and doing propaganda for Israel in general. But that 60 Minutes interview seemingly was enlightening about, like, how there is disagreements between the American envoys and Israel or whatever the fuck. But, like, I'll go through it. I've seen bits and pieces.
In just a second. But first, let's go now to Deborah Patta in East Jerusalem for the latest. Deborah, good morning to you.
Good morning. The skies over Gaza are quiet today after the ceasefire faced really its gravest test yet, with Hamas and Israel accusing each other of violations. Both sides have now recommitted to the peace process. War was back in Gaza this weekend. 45 Palestinians were killed in Israeli strikes, say local health officials, and 2 soldiers, say the Israel Defense Forces, when Hamas opened fire using an RPG. As mediators raced to get the ceasefire back on track, President Trump had this to say.
It's going to be handled toughly but properly.
Is the ceasefire still in place?
Yeah, yes.
Families had come out to enjoy a quiet moment at the seaside cafe when an Israeli strike shattered the peace, and the blood-soaked scenes they thought were a thing of the past had returned. We were drinking tea, said Salih Salman, and suddenly people were being bombed. Once again, hospitals filled up with dozens of injured from multiple Israeli strikes. The IDF said they were thwarting ceasefire violations by Hamas and provided this footage they say shows armed Hamas fighters moving towards Israeli troops. In central Gaza, it was a media center that was bombed, killing a cameraman and an engineer and injuring 3 others. We're all journalists here, said Ajeb Mohammed. No one else can even enter here. Over 220 media workers have been killed in Gaza, according to Reporters Without Borders.
We made a deal with Hamas that, they're going to be very good, they're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go in.
So what took place is apparently an explosion in Rafah took place, and they claimed that it was actually Hamas militants that killed like Israeli soldiers or something. But soon after the explosion in Rafah, I'm told by a source familiar, the White House and Pentagon knew that the incident was caused by an Israeli settler bulldozer running over unexploded ordnance, contradicting Netanyahu's claims that Hamas had popped up from tunnels. After Netanyahu said he was blocking aid from entering Gaza in response and unleashed a bombing campaign, the administration conveyed to Israel that they know what happened. Netanyahu then announced he would reopen the crossing crossings in a few hours. So they tried to do the classic, like, oh, Hamas militants or whatever are responsible for our big, beautiful boys, our big, beautiful genocidal army occupational soldiers being killed. And they released a video with the drone footage that you saw. And the video drone footage that they actually saw contradicted exactly what was going on, for the record. I think they just used like a video from a different drone footage. But the American government knew exactly what had taken place, and they very quickly released information. Look, Pentagon quickly came to the same conclusions as Yunus. According to reporter Yunus Tarabi, the incident in Rafah was not a Hamas attack, but rather a bulldozer operated by a settler company ran over some sort of explosive device or unexploded ordnance. By dropping countless megatons of bombs in Gaza, Israel has rendered it very dangerous terrain for demolition crews. Okay. And not only that, but Israel, while it was trying to do propaganda, okay, you literally had senior administration officials telling Kurt Mills of the American Conservative magazine and numerous other places, Hamas did nothing. Israeli tank hit an unexploded IED that has probably been there for months. But it was enough for Israel to turn around and unleash fury upon the civilian population of Palestinians once again. To accuse Hamas of every time the demolition crew blows itself up if a ceasefire violation is the height of irony. The solution to this is to reach a genuine truce and remove unexploded ordnance systematically. Yeah. But in Israeli society, it seems, in Israeli media, they're still describing it as two terrorists emerged from a tunnel and fired an anti-tank missile. Now, remember, Israel has already been violating the ceasefire. This is not the first time. This is not the first time they violated the ceasefire, and it probably won't be the last, because Israel does not actually want a ceasefire. They want to continue the genocide. This bombing campaign, I believe, was like the 67th violation of the ceasefire since the ceasefire began. Israel has killed almost 100 Palestinians since the ceasefire began. It's ridiculous.
We're going to eradicate them if we have to.
Thank you.
The US president has dispatched to Israel a delegation led by his negotiator Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner to show support and tell Israel that the president wants this ceasefire to stick.
Let's get into fresh attack launched on mayoral race frontrunner Zohran Mamdani. I briefly talked about it. It's like transparent bigotry, transparent Islamophobia, but that won't stop the media from doing it.
And fresh new attacks on their opponents. Andrew Cuomo referencing this photo posted on X, picturing Zohran Mamdani next to controversial New York religious leader Imam Siraj Wahhaj.
Mr. Wahhaj was an unindicted co-conspirator in the 93 World Trade Center bombing. What is your problem with condemning terrorism? It is the easiest thing to condemn.
The same imam met with Mayor Bloomberg, met with Mayor de Blasio, campaigned alongside Eric Adams. And the only time it became an issue of national attention was when I met with him. And that's because of the fact of my faith and because I'm on the precipice of winning this election.
Curtis Sliwa taking to Facebook about the picture, adding, Siraj Wahhaj is dangerous. This is disturbing to see. On Sunday, Sliwa once again emphasized he has no plans to quit the race, with just days until their upcoming second debate.
Zohran Mamdani, his only answer to everything is affordability. Andrew Cuomo,
Wait, what? Is he glazing Zohran again? What is happening? Zohran Mamdani, he always talks about affordability, but I fucking hate Andrew Cuomo. Mamdani, he's gonna be a good mayor. Let me tell you, I'm in a rent-controlled apartment with my 17 cats. I need more money for Purina. And honestly, I'm a big fan of the rent freeze. Let's be fucking real about it.
he doesn't understand he's no longer relevant. His time has passed. And I'm gonna make that very apparent to everybody who will be watching and listening.
According to a recent Fox News poll taken before Thursday's debate, Mamdani remains the front runner with over 50% of the vote, Cuomo trailing just below 30%, and Sliwa sits at 14%. And Democratic Representative Hakeem Jeffries falling short of a full endorsement of Mamdani Sunday, but did speak to an array of positive conversations he's had with the front runner.
Awesome.
That we're focused on, in particular, his efforts to make New York City more affordable. That's the right issue to focus on.
And early voting starts on Saturday. The second debate between the three candidates will be held Wednesday night at 7.
I can't believe this is like a real thing. Like this dude is straight up. The imam that Zohran took a photo with is like a fucking community leader in New York, like a prominent community leader in New York that virtually every fucking Democratic mayoral hopeful and even Republicans have photographed alongside. It is fucking crazy. It's so crazy that people are just attempting this shit. It's unironically no different than the whole like, oh, well, you associated with a guy who fucking said America deserved 9/11. Like they are trying to say you did 9/11. Okay. That's what they are trying to say. That's what it is. You're Muslim. You did 9/11. Your people did 9/11. And how dare you try to become mayor? It's an act of desperation. It's a final act of desperation. It's very clear. Like, this is your wash. Trump is not aware of your photograph with Zohran. That's true.
Bombing's photo with the 93 World Trade Center bombing.
Yeah, no, it's a shame. Look, the Mandami thing
Anyway, let's get back to Donald Trump.
is it's a disaster waiting to happen. We can't have a communist in charge of a great, supposedly free enterprise, kind of a representative city. So I think it's, if you have a communist mayor, I think it's going to be very tough for him and for the city.
Do you think he should have posted something like this so close to the election?
Oh, I think it's a shame that that particular man is endorsing him and very friendly with him. You can see there's a relationship. He blew up the World Trade Center, right?
That's crazy. No, he didn't. Why? Just think for a moment. Why would there be a fucking prominent imam in the middle of New York who literally blew up the World Trade Center and not in fucking jail? How is that even possible? Like, how could that have taken place? Cashless bail. The Democrats did it again. They let the imam walk away scot-free after he blew up the World Trade Center. Yeah, I guess, yeah, George W. Bush was too woke and didn't jail him. It's not even George W. Bush. This is from before. This is from 93. The 93 bombing of World Trade Center. That's what they're talking about. I don't even know what the fuck. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this shit, dude.